Shalom. When Abraham and Sarai came to the land of Canaan, they didn't come by themselves. They came with Lot, Abraham's nephew. They came with all their possessions. And the Torah adds, V'et hanefesh asher asu b'Haran. They came with the souls they had made in the land of Haran. Rashi explains the straightforward meaning of this phrase is that they came with the retinue of servants they had acquired in Haran. But Rashi offers another explanation. He says that the word nefesh refers to converts, people that had followed Abraham and Sarai, become inspired by them, by their example of faith and trust in God, their repudiation of idolatry, and they were motivated to attach themselves to Abraham and Sarai and follow them to the land of Canaan, to the land of Israel. But this raises an obvious question. What happens to these people afterwards? We hear nothing of them in the future parts of the Bible. There's no story of what happened to these converts afterwards. And one explanation that's given is that when Abraham dies, these converts lapse back to their former ways. They were so attached to Abraham that they couldn't keep it up after he is gone. And this is alluded to in what the Torah will tell us in 3 weeks' time, that when Abraham dies, the wells that he had dug became filled up. And this alludes to the wellsprings of spirituality of these disciples of Abraham and Sarai that became filled up, occluded, blocked in spiritual terms after Abraham and Sarai were no longer there. They were so connected to these personalities, they just couldn't keep it up themselves when they had died. The late Abraham Yitzchak Cohen Cook, Zatzal, the chief rabbi of the land of Israel, makes a striking observation. He says that people should be careful never to identify too closely with the personality of even a tzaddik, an outstandingly spiritual individual. No one, he says, is without fault. A total identification with another's personality is never healthy, because as Rav Kook says, the acolyte might fasten on to the master's failings as well. Even exceptional individuals may disappoint. If there's been complete identification, this will sadly lead to disillusionment. Ideal disciples will never suspend their own judgment. He or she will emulate and explore. He or she will examine their teacher's words and deeds very carefully. They will scrutinize. They will question so they understand and do not misinterpret. And yes, there may come a time when the disciple, within the parameters of halacha, will respectfully disagree. Wishing you all a week of learning and growth. Shabbat Shalom.